All right, everyone. Trump loves a little bit of troll hyperbole, but this time once again with the 4D chess, he got people to think that he was taking himself fully seriously. Some conservative commentator was like rambling about Trump being the king of the Jews and the chosen one, like basically Jesus. And he retweeted that, much to great applause from his core fans and much to the chagrin of all of his enemies, who assumed immediately, well, he's gone round the bend this time. This, in all other cases when he does stuff like this, it's been, basically him trolling us, but this time we're sure that he's being serious. He actually believes he's Jesus Christ. In a tongue-in-cheek reference to that the other night, that little thing where it says, like, they rejected Jesus' message, or something like that. Most of them rejected his message, and there's, like, the crowd of Pharisees, and one was like, shut up to Jesus. There's a little template you can get for that online, and I sort of doctored it around. I thought it was funny. Anyway, it's basically the same thing. Trump is being tongue-in-cheek with this. All he has to do is retweet some random person on Twitter in order to get millions of people riled up and antagonized. These people think that he's unhinged, but literally it takes him 10 seconds of effort to find something he knows is going to inflame those that disagree with him. Because they've been primed to do that. They've been primed to see him as demented, crazy, to jump down his throat no matter what he says. He could say something innocuous and he will get criticized for it. He's said stuff like this before. The very slogan, "Make America Great Again," he will post literally nothing more than that. It's barely at this point a political message so much as an ideological rallying cry towards just Americanism in a general sense, especially associated with economics. And people go insane. Oh, you're not making America great. You're evil. You're Hitler. It was funny because CNN the other day, having run out of other things to trot out, what did they say? Well, Trump is literally, he's not Hitler, he's worse than Hitler. And Mao and Stalin combined, all three of them. Hitler might kill more people than all of the evildoers of the last century. And it's like, okay, unless you're insinuating the possibility of a nuclear war, that's probably not the case. Or like a bioweapon or something. Or like, a zombie virus breaks out and Trump doesn't magically, kill all the zombies or something, It's bullshit. It is pretty funny, though. I mean, he's obviously at this point he's also having a good time. This is pure Trump. I can remember back, when I was in high school, they had that little flash game. There's like Trump versus Rosie O'Donnell. Around the time that they had their feud, which I still think might have been for marketing purposes, just saying. They had that flash game. It was one of the first like truly viral internet sensation games for that sort of maybe not little kid crowd. And it was basically like, Trump and Rosie O'Donnell fighting. And I think Rosie O'Donnell would like hit him with her handbag and he would whip her with his hair. They would like punch and kick each other. And they had like weird special moves and shit. I remember another one was the presidential dance-off. And like I can remember John Kerry had the flip-flop. And politics and sociopolitics and the economy, things like that make for good memes. Anyway, Donald Trump, though, do you really think he thinks he's Jesus? I don't think he's even a Christian, in more than the marginal sense. I highly doubt he's very religious. Look, he likes boardrooms, not being on his knees before some invisible entity. He might marginally believe in God, and I'm sure that if he does, it would be from the Christian perspective. But do you think he's religious? Do you really think he believes in the end time stuff? No. But it's good for voting, too, because he has this bullshit going on where he's come out and he's chastised Jewish voters for supposedly disloyalty. He's like basically like, hey, you're voting for the Democrats. The Democrats are sheltering people who are clearly anti-Semitic, which they are. It was really funny. It's hilarious because everyone's primed to think of the Republicans as like hateful old despicable white dudes who hate everyone who's not like them, like white straight Christian male. And it's like actually the Democrats have been absorbing people who speak kindly of jihadists. And I'm not talking about just Palestine. Okay, that's a different issue. That's, sociopolitics. I'm talking about some of the more out there stuff that we're hearing from the Democrats. And it's not just Ilhan Omar. It's not just people in power either. It's the lay Democrats at this point. There's a sickness within their party. It's a deep one. Trump has fun pointing this out. So if he can use a little bit of religious iconography for it, who cares? By the way, I say this as an apatheist who's generally anti-religious. I think religion is a problem in the world for the most part. Spirituality, no. And if you believe in a god or gods or whatever, who cares? But religion in the organized sense tends to be a negative thing. It causes problems. It's caused wars, and it's caused misery and ignorance and everything else under the sun, and still is to this day. But I don't care if Donald Trump trolls people by pretending to be religious. And that's really what it is. It's sort of like the more innocuous, hyperbolic version of a Pat Robertson. I don't think he's religious either. I think he's a money grubber. But he actually, he'll pretend and he'll take, checks from little old ladies and shit, whereas Donald Trump is attempting to use that hyperbolic spiritual stance to actually enhance the country. Insofar as his role is he gets paid to enhance the country and to represent it in the executive capacity, I'm comfortable with that. Yeah, I'm perfectly comfortable with him throwing Jesus around as a cudgel at his enemies if it helps the United States in some measurable way. And the Democrats aren't doing it. They throw religion around as a cudgel too, mostly to browbeat people who don't like their economic policies by saying you're a racist and you hate Islam because you want the world to burn in the fires of climate change or some stupid shit like that. Some stupid reach around hand job bullshit. The Democrats have some real problems facing off against Trump. Just think, they want someone who does this sort of thing to be faced off against by Joe Biden. They're not playing with a full deck. Sorry. That's about all. Peace out.